In this video, I'll provide a demo of the Visual Query Editor and show you some of the different transformations and commands that you can leverage. The Visual Query Editor in Microsoft Fabric's data warehouse experience is an alternative to writing your queries using TSQL. It provides an alternative no-code experience to create your queries. Once you've loaded data into your warehouse, you can use the Visual Query Editor to create queries to analyze your data. To access the Visual Query Editor, click on the three dots under My Queries and then click on New Visual Query. Or under the Home tab, select New Visual Query. So let me do that. So currently we have a blank canvas. You can drag tables and views you want into this canvas. So in my tutorial schema, under this warehouse, let me drag this orders table in. So there are a series of steps in sequence that have been performed automatically to load this orders table. And you can see a data preview down here. So it's connected to the source, which is an SQL Server database. This is just our warehouse. And then in this database step, it's actually accessed all of the tables. And then here it's selected the orders table and it's displayed it. As you perform more and more transformations, you can see the changes in sequence. If you're familiar with Power Query, then this will look and feel very familiar to you. So I can click on this plus icon to add additional transformations, or I can select some of the options at the top as well. So let's say I want to make an additional transformation. So I can ensure the latest step is selected. And now let me remove this user ID column. So I can highlight this column, go on Manage Columns, and then remove columns. So notice the user ID column has gone, but if I go to the previous step, the user ID column is here. So this is a step that we've added and it's removed that column. If I want to undo that step, I can actually right click on the step and then delete it. So now the step is deleted and that column is back. So looking at this table, let's say I want to order it based on the highest to lowest quantities. So I can highlight this and I can either click on sort to sort it in descending order of this column, or I can click on the drop down and then I can sort it there as well. So let me sort in descending order. And as you can see, that's worked. So I can also delete this step as well. So you can change the data types that they're displayed in by clicking on this data type icon on the left of each column. So here it's currently displayed as a whole number, and I can change that if I want as well. You can also perform filtering too. If I wanted to filter only on orders with a quantity is greater than or equal to 20, then I can select quantity and then I can go on reduce rows. And then I can filter rows where the quantity is greater than or equal to, let's say 20. So anything less than 20 will get filtered out. And as you can see, that's worked. So let me delete this step again. So let me provide a summary of these transformations. So you've got manage columns, which allows you to remove unwanted columns. You've got reduce rows, which allows you to perform filtering. You can also sort your records in ascending or descending order of specified columns. And then you have transformation steps, such as group by and replace values in your dataset. And here you can combine data from multiple queries. A query is essentially a table. If you click on this plus icon, you can see additional transformations too. So a lot of these will be familiar from the top here, but then if you scroll down, you have additional as well. So you can transform text columns, and then you can also transform numerical columns. So here you've got basic arithmetic. So let's say I want to get the total order amount per each order. To do that, I can multiply the quantity by the unit price. So let me highlight these two columns, click on this plus icon, and search for multiply. So now this returns a column that is the result of this quantity multiplied by this unit price. So I can actually double click on the column and rename that. So that will be order total. And that's worked. And that has added an additional transformation step. So let me add this products table to this visual query as well. So I can just drag it on the canvas. So now we have the products table. So this is a preview for the transformations on the orders table so far. And down here, we have the products table. So the product ID of this orders table here, this product ID, is related to the ID of this products table. So I can merge the tables based on those common columns. So on either of the tables, click on the plus icon and then select Merge Queries to merge them. You can also merge queries as new. So Merge Queries as new will create a new query by combining the two existing queries. This action doesn't modify the original queries, but it creates a new one with the merged data. Let me show you what Merge Queries does first. So this action will modify one of the existing queries by adding the results of the merge operation to it. So if I click on that, and then I will create the merge condition, so that will be product ID, and then for the right table, it's the products table. So the product ID of the orders will be joined with the ID of the products table. And I want the join kind to be a left outer join. So that returns all records from the orders table and only matching records from the products table. But that results in a complete match. So I'm satisfied with that. So let's click on OK. So now notice how it's modified the orders table to include this merged query. So prior to this, we've just got information from the orders table. And now we've got access to the information from the products table too. So let me delete this step and show you the difference by using merge queries as new. So I will do the same join. So I will join on products. So that'll be product ID of the orders table on the ID of the products table. Left outer join and click on OK. So this time it creates a new query based on the result of the merge. So let me just keep it as that. So now let's expand this reference to the products table so that we can select the columns we want from the products table. So there are quite a few columns. All I want from the products table is the title, the category, and the vendor. So click on OK. So now we have the additional information from the products table. So these two tables have been merged. So with the results of this query, we can save it as a table, we can download the results into an Excel file, and we can visualize the results in Power BI. You can also view the underlying SQL code used to construct the final result. But currently this SQL here is generated for this orders table. And the reason that is because if you click on the three dots on the orders table, you have got enable load. So what you want to do is you want to enable the load for the merge operation. And then that is what will be generated in this SQL. So this is the SQL for all of the operations that we've done so far. So if I actually copy this, close it, and then create a new SQL query, and paste that, and then run this query, the resulting table will match what we have in the visual query so far. However, this is not the most efficient use of SQL because it follows all of the logic in sequence. So there's a lot of repetition and subqueries. If you save the result of this merge operation as a view, then the SQL query that I've referenced here will be saved as the view definition. So once you're happy with the visual query, you can access it again in your queries. So here's the visual query. Okay, so that's the visual query editor in Microsoft Fabric's data warehouse. It's a way to construct complex queries using the drag and drop Power Query interface without having to write your own SQL code.